But now we're going to cross to Robert Weiner, who's a longtime friend of Joe Biden, a former spokesperson for Bill Clinton and George W. Bush. Robert Weiner, good afternoon.
It's great to be with you, Cathy. Thanks so much. I would have to take a little different take than his name was Tom, who was just on with you.
That was Tom Newton-Dunn, yeah.
Yeah, on one thing. He said probably the Senate will be able to be controlled by the Democrats. I'm longtime and always totally support Democratic candidates and issues and all, but I'm realistic. Two runoffs in Georgia, to rely on those is risky to say you will control. That's going to take a lot of hard work. There's no guarantee whatsoever. Both Ossoff and Warnock are going to be in runoffs. And with Georgia, Biden carried, yes, Georgia, big surprise, but a lot of other Republicans won in Georgia, and so no guarantee there. One thing also I'd like to add to your mix, the babble that the Trump legal team is putting forward, throwing all the spaghetti against the wall, mail votes are legal votes, and Trump asked for them to be segregated and counted last. The Republicans requested that, so that's what's coming in last.
Right.
But
Good
it came in. And also, Jared Kushner was looking for a James Baker like the Bush v. Gore lawyer. Hey, he's still alive. And you know what he just said? Count the votes. So it's just nonsense. They're throwing everything. Biden will be giving his speech sometime today. It will be a grand, we got to heal America. Democrats, Republicans work together. Trump will do who knows what, but we may have to get to Pelosi's fumigate him out.
Well, that's an image. Just stand back a minute, Robert, because I just want you to give me a sense of what we think President Biden will be like in terms of his leadership of America, his leadership of the world, really.
I'm very hopeful. I've known him since forever. When he was a kid and I was a kid, he ran for Senate, and I ran a youth vote for him as the Democratic National Committee's youth vote director back then. And he remembered a few years ago there was a portrait unveiling, Cathy, in the Congress of Conyers, who was the chair of the House Judiciary Committee, and Biden used to be chair of Senate. And when he walked by, I said, I was in his house when he ran for Senate in 1972. And he looked at me, he looked at my wife, and he said, Pat, that's exactly right. I mean, he's such an earthy, candid, nice guy. And that's with the suffering that he has gone through. Read Scarborough's article. It was phenomenal on the suffering he's gone through with the death of his kids, the death of his wife, and how he's coped with all that. He brings that empathy to America. And it comes through in his voice. It comes through in his words. He will get some things done because he's a master of the Senate. So I'm expecting an infrastructure bill to come through. Trump promised 5 infrastructure weeks and nothing. And I expect also that if the Supreme Court, with this new conservative court, knocks down Obamacare, and they'll have to give it some phase time, there'll be something like the Murray-Alexander bill that fixes the exchanges, includes Medicaid, maybe even includes some of Biden's public option. Believe it or not, Mitch McConnell has a working strategy in him. He's an institutionalist, and he went along with Trump for the ride. It was a horrible ride. It was a terrible ride, and he went with him. But now he's going to try to protect the image of the Senate, and I am hopeful that Biden's healing and togetherness strategy of Democrats and Republicans working together will succeed.
Right.
And I take a lot of guff now from my colleague Democratic strategist. Hey, what do you mean you're giving that to McConnell? No. If you make McConnell a hero, as we did in an op-ed, Cathy, with Boehner, we said Boehner can be a hero if he doesn't cause a shutdown and does a budget. It was the headline in roll call, Boehner can be a hero. He did it. Boehner did that, and I think Boehner was Speaker of the House, McConnell, of course, now leader of the Senate. I think that can happen.
Just very briefly, you've talked about healing America. We no doubt will hear more about that and that empathy you're talking about when Joe Biden does address the nation later this evening. But he will also be the oldest president in history. Does he have the energy to do what it takes as a job of work to be done?
Well, like everybody else, I had my doubts when I saw it. And he started off the campaign a little slow. But, boy, the energy of the last couple of weeks. Have you seen him running up and down the staircases in the airports and all over the place?
I've also seen him walking slowly, though, and that must concern people.
No, he's been running, boom, boom, boom. I've watched. Well, I guess you pick your clips. But also the energy in his speeches, it's been powerful. It's been persuasive. I looked at my team and I said, that is inspirational.
Mhm.
So I think he's got it. I think he wants it. And by the way, Jill will keep him going.
Well, yes, I want to hear more about her, but not time now, I'm afraid. But Robert Weiner, it's a pleasure to have you on Times Radio.